So today I wanted to talk about my experience with Scientology. Lately in the news, if you guys have been paying attention, Leah Remini, who's on Kings of Queens, is a former Scientologist, and she recently left the religion. Okay, so it's kind of funny because if you don't live in Hollywood, if you don't live in Los Angeles, if you've never experienced, because that's where you're really going to experience Scientology, if you've never really experienced anyone who is a Scientologist or anything of that nature, you won't really understand, but I'm just sharing my personal experience. Okay, so 3 years ago, I think it was like my first time living in California. I've lived there like 2 times now. And I was 21, like just turned 21. I moved out there with a job, but my intentions were to pursue a career in acting and singing, because that's what I do. So I went out there, had a blast, so much fun. There's a lot of things about living in Hollywood that people who don't live there wouldn't know. For example, they call it Holly weird because there's a lot of weird people, including me. I'm a weirdo. But so I was living there, and kind of the things that you catch on to if you're like a starving artist like I was back in the day, well, kind of still am, but is doing extra work for cash. So like I used to do like the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 show and oh my gosh, Judge Judy, divorce court, like all those things like will give you extra work. There's this place called Central Casting that you can go to they'll take your picture, you sign up for it, and they pretty much send you emails of whenever there's extra work available. So that's what I did, because that's where pretty much everybody did when you move to LA, like that's what you do. So outside of the Central Casting office were these like 2 women in t-shirts passing out a flyer for a free comedy show. So I'm new to LA, I'm like looking for things to do, like fun things. I knew like my best friend that I was living with, only a couple people I knew at that time, and I'm like, yeah, like that sounds like fun, like no way, like free comedy show, yeah. So I went, and it was like 7 p.m. at night, in the middle of the night. I come to this beautiful, like, haunted mansion. That's what it looked like. It looked like a haunted mansion. I'm like, is this where the comedy show is? That's so weird. And when we're driving in there, it said the Church of Scientology, and it's the biggest one, I think, in the country. It's the one that Tom Cruise attends. So we went in there. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, I thought we were just going to like a regular show. I'm like, well, maybe they just do shows in their church. Like, I know nothing about Scientology. Like, maybe they're cool with like doing comedy shows at church. Cool, whatever. Like, I didn't know anything about it. Then I went inside, and it was about like they took us into like this little room with like maybe 12 chairs, and they had like a guest speaker, they had an assistant there, and they were just like he did kind of as, it wasn't really funny, it wasn't funny at all, it was just like in a seminar kind of deal, and like he was just talking about the entertainment industry and tips to get in and things like that. Then like the assistant, which is a girl, I think she's like a writer in LA. I don't know. Like I feel like when you go to LA, you meet people with a bunch of different like jobs in the industry. So this girl was a writer. Out of nowhere, she starts busting out crying, talking about how Scientology saved her life. And I'm not judging, like, but it was really weird. It was awkward because we came for like what we thought was a comedy show, and it wasn't. So literally, I kid you not, they passed out their books, which if you don't know, is Church Scientology. Like they believe in levels, and they believe in like doing these little workbooks to like work out your problems in life or your issues or whatever. So we took a book, and like they basically were saying, like, so this is book 1, and we're going to take you on a series of books and a series of levels, and this is how like your life will get better if you do this, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh, so it's not a comedy show, it's a secret initiation to the Church of Scientology, which it was kind of like, I feel like kind of duped and tricked into attending this like, secret initiation or whatever. So I'm fine. Like, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's cool. Like, So I got tricked into attending this initiation to the Church of Scientology, it actually ended up being like an intro meeting to their church. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I already go to church. So they literally went one by one to everyone who was in the room and asked us like really like deep personal questions, like, you know, what bothers you in life, or what are you wanting to achieve? And it was really weird. It was just like they were trying to get stuff out of us, and I guess like, you know, I try to like make it less awkward and try to participate a little bit. My friend was like, this is weird, we need to go. I kid you not, we were not interested. They wanted us to buy this book, and if you don't know, everything like they told us it was a free comedy show, but they like would not let us leave until we paid $12 for this book and blah blah. It was really creepy. Like when we were like, okay, we're done, like we wanted to leave, we were about to walk out, they closed the door on us. They closed the door, and we're like stuck in this room with a bunch of weirdos. We're like, holy crap, what did we get ourselves into? And literally, like, these people, their eyes are all glazed over. It's really creepy. Like, they have no soul. Like, when you look at their face, it's like a blank stare, and it's really creepy, and it's weird. So we were walking out, and like the guy, like, I'm just really awkward, like I'm really bad about, you know, saying no and running out. So I was like really nervous and like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. So so I was walking out, and I guess they could see that I was like the, you know, the more tolerant one out of me and my friend. So this guy, like, he's like higher up in the ranks, and he had me in this room, and he was talking to me and trying to convince me to join their church. And they separated me and my friend. One took my friend to another room, and they took me to another room. I was really nervous, and it was like he was really trying hard to get me to pay this money. I'm like, why is it all about money? So my friend opened the door. She's like, yeah, we gotta go. It was the awkwardest thing. Like, I was like, okay. And then I was walking out to leave. There was like 10 of them that worked there, or that went to that church, whatever. They were like all lined up by the door. Like, they did not want us to leave. It was the scariest thing ever. I'm like, what do we do? Like, you know, and then they're like, well, you still owe us $12 for attending the show. I was like, I thought you guys said it was free. They're like, no, it's $12. I'm like, pay the money. Let's get the F out of there. So I just gave them the money. They were like not kind. They were like just really strangely staring into space, and all they wanted was money. It was the weirdest thing. It's like they weren't even alive. And I know that the point of like the Scientology thing is to give a certain amount of money so that you can reach the highest rank, which is clear. And everyone that I've met that's really deep into it all have like a clear glaze over their eyes. That's what I equate clear at. So it was just like a really scary experience. I wouldn't do that again, but hey, you know, you live, you learn, you buy loves. And being young in Hollywood, like, that's one of the things that you just, that some people just gonna get wrapped up into. And, you know, there's a lot of vultures out there, so be careful. But yeah, that was my escape from Scientology story. If you have any questions, comment on the link below. If you want more stories like this, let me know. Thumbs it up, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.